house today to find out from Honorable Sam Onuigbo the security implications of climate change in our environment and in Nigeria precisely. He is a man that has powers across. He's a vice president, Africa Globe International. Join me to find out that from him. Rep. Sam, Vice President, Africa Globe International.
Yes.
Who is this Sam? Can you just tell me what Rep. Sam is doing in that place?
Okay, thank you very much indeed. I am the Vice President Africa of Globe. Globe stands for Global Legislators Organization for a Balanced Environment. It's an association for national parliamentarians. That's parliamentarians who are the national, either National Assembly or Congress or whatever you call it. It's an association that is in almost 100 countries of the world. And their main aim is to focus, support, sponsor bills on environment, on climate change, to ensure that we have a world where the climate is protected, where the environment is protected, so that we can live in a peaceful way, in a place that is not as harmful as the world is becoming because of emissions, because of desertification, because of drought, because of coastal and other erosions that we are experiencing around the world, whether it's flood. Of course, we're all witnesses to what is going on. Of course, because of the security implication that is associated with climate change. And these are things that we are pursuing. So I am the Vice President Africa of that organization. I'm also the chairman of Climate Parliament in Nigeria.
Now, what are the implications of security relating to security as regards to climate change, both in and out? That's a lot.
There are actually lots of implications as far as climate change is concerned. The implications are numerous and diverse. In the past, we would just say, climate change has sent out warning shots or is firing warning shots. But today, nobody's talking about warning shots. We are living with the devastating effects of climate change all around the world. And in fact, if we want to take it one by one, I have talked about how we are having serious coastal erosion. If you go to the Niger Delta area, you will then find that areas where fishermen used to keep their canoes and all that have been completely wiped away. Maybe some a kilometer inside. It appears harmless. It appears, very innocuous. It's coming gradual, but you do not know that. You start seeing that where you used to keep your canoe, it's wiped out. You no longer have that space. That shore is gone. That's coastal erosion arising from the rise in sea level, which is part of what we're talking about from climate change. If you come to the eastern part of the country, you see gully erosion in different places, in places where that was not present before. And these things affect lives, affect livelihoods. If you now go to the northern parts, you see the speed at which desertification is racing down, now causing drought, and now forcing individuals who previously inhabited such areas and who previously earned their living from farming and other activities, animal husbandry. They no longer have such areas to For instance, look at what has happened around the Lake Chad region. Lake Chad used to cover about 25,000 square miles for water, serving a number of countries: Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad, and the rest of those neighboring countries there. And it was estimated that well over 30 million people were earning their living through farming around the lake, fishing around the lake, doing animal husbandry around the lake. But today that the lake has really shrunk to 2,500 miles, or even less by now, those people have nowhere to go to. And if you recognize the fact that these are individuals who have just the ordinary skill of farming and this, some of them have poured into the cities. And right there, they are ready to do whatever you ask them to do to be able to earn a living. That is part of what fueled the Boko Haram crisis up there in the Northeast. Then security. Another aspect of security is that when drought and desertification force people, push them to what we call forced migration, they now go to meet other people who are already there. And what you see is clashes. Because the man who is there earning a living sees somebody encroaching. You have also had the cases of herders who are pushing down south in search of a place for their cattle to graze. This again, has led to a serious security challenge. So climate change leads to different kinds of security issues. And that is why it is important. That's why the bill that is now in the Senate is very, very important, and why, by the grace of God, where it must receive concurrence, so that Mr. President, who has been championing this right from his inaugural address, then he can find something upon which to tell the world, look, this is how far I've gone. I even have a law on this, in line with my promise on the 29th of May 2015 that I will fight climate change. And that way, we'll be seen locally and globally to have a united approach towards tackling these devastating challenges that are coming from climate change.
Are you sure that we can overcome it?
Yes, I am sure, because all hands are on deck now. Okay, you probably heard what came from the UN report that was titled Code Red. They issued a report, the IPCC. They issued a report, that shows that unless if all hands are on deck and the world work together, we'll probably be having no planet to live in, because it's going to get too hot for anyone to be here. You perhaps have also heard that the International Energy Agency that was created in 1974 to be able to allow oil to flow freely to the world has even turned around now to issue a report saying they should discontinue sourcing for oil and gas, because that it was contributing significantly to the issues of climate change. Perhaps you also may have heard the verdict from the Dutch court that told Shell to discontinue all the resources they were investing into fossil fuel. These are signs that the world is indeed ready. And of course, you heard from President Biden not long ago that they were going to double whatever they were going to spend on fighting climate change. I think they're talking about 11 or so billion. The world is aware, and that's why all hands must be on deck. And to show that Nigeria is also on board, that's why we want to see this bill, pass through the Senate, through concurrence, and then being assented by Mr. President.
Okay, while we are waiting for the bill to come on, what advice will you give our people that are living around river, Band and others, as rain is winding down?
Well, the advice is simple. There should be serious awareness campaign on the danger of climate change, on the effects of climate change. When I think the meteorological NIMET, reported that they will have a lot of rain and flood this year. I think Nigerian Hydrological Agency also issued a statement to that effect. No one ever thought that we're going to have this amount of rain and the impact. And it's important for people, we know that rain is about subsiding, but it's important for people living around the riverine areas to be cautious of this fact that the sea level is rising. It's not what it used to be, and that's why I just talked about the term wiping out areas where they used to keep their canoes and things that they used to do fishing and all that. So everyone should be aware, and everyone should do things that do not encourage, for instance, you know, when you block the drainage, when it rains, you are looking for flood.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is what I can bring for you right from National Assembly until I get another one for you. I'm Bemiga Olamikon. Thank you. Bye for now.